up a sec. I gotta catch my breath. Okay. Well, this might not be as easy as I thought. We're in the same boat as the other evacuees now. On foot to a train station. Let's head for the surface.
Welcome back to Half-Life 2 Episode 1. This chapter is called Lowlife. So we'll also be including the next chapter after this one. Just, you know, as a treat.
Careful, I hear turrets.
So it would seem. Yeah, as the title suggests, the chapter is going to take place almost entirely underground. So, yeah, it's going to be the lower sections of the city, the parts that are mostly forgotten, basically. Love that little thing there. As I've said before, the game's thesis has been trying to find ways that you can make a partner character actually likable and useful to the player. In this case, the main thing is that, well, there's going to be a considerable lack of ammunition. Unless, you know, you consider random props to be ammo.
I can't see a thing. I'm blind as a bat without that flashlight on.
The other gimmick is, yeah,
We need to get through that.
darkness.
Says whenever he locked himself out of his office, you and Barney used to compete to see who could get in fastest without using a key.
That sounds about right. Yeah, the main thing about this chapter is, well, they want to find a way to make the player depend on Alyx without making it seem forced, basically. Not sure what I was trying to prove there. Yes, long falls will kill you.
I can't see a thing. I'm blind as a bat without that flashlight on. We need to get through that door. Hey, an air duct. I've heard stories about you.
Anyway, flares. They serve as a substitute to flashlights, giving you a little bit of light without needing you to use your battery power. Which is, well, honestly, they're trying to make a darkness section in a game where your flashlight is, yeah, of a very finite sort. I'm not sure it entirely works. Anyhow, yes, a gun. 2 guns, in fact. Yeah, the game's going to be just handing us our shotgun right from the get-go, since, you know, we are going to be in Zombie Town. Matter of fact, there's an achievement in this game for going through the entire game with only using 1 bullet. They're so confident in, I guess, showcasing the gravity gun that they figure you only need, you know, a single shot for this specific purpose right here. Yep. the one free bullet, and otherwise you just have to be using physics projectiles and bombs.
Hey, and you found a gun.
I won't be doing that because I like this game's firearms. Excuse me. Especially the shotgun. Like, you know, they're going to try to make you use less firearms because of the limited ammunition in this level, but, you know, if you space it out properly and, you know, you search around a little bit.
Gotcha.
Very funny. Actually, there are all kinds of little things that happen if you put the light out. For example...
Don't leave me here!
Yeah, if you wander off for a little bit,
Keep your light on that zombie.
then she gets a little bit freaked out. Understandably so. There is a mechanic also in place regarding enemy spawns. Basically, the longer you keep the light out, the more likely it is that a zombie will spawn in during the period of darkness.
Antlions here? The Combine's defense field must have collapsed. Makes sense if it was powered by the Citadel. I can get a better shot and knock them over, Gordon.
Yep, that's the sort of thing about the antlions, is that I think that we might have seen that in the first game as well. If you zap them, they flip over on their back.
Looks like we found a troop train. What the hell is that? A Combine zombie. That's like a Zombine, right? Zombine, get it? Okay.
I kind of like that.
Crap! Look out! It's got a grenade!
Oh yes, a new unique enemy just for this particular chapter. I forget if Chapter 2 also has Zombines, but I won't discount the idea. It's been a long time.
Light that thing up.
Yeah, as you saw there, Zombines, if you let them be for a while, will just pull out a grenade and try to do a suicide attack on you. Fortunately, Alyx is sturdy enough, and her health regens quickly enough, that taking a grenade to the face won't be instantly fatal. That's a relief. And oh yes, a bit of a hidden aspect of flares, I suppose, is that if you get a zombie with them, then they light up pretty nicely. Or in that particular case, a head crab. Hello. You might have also noticed a little bit where one of the zombies tried to grab Alyx, but she shoved them off. Yeah, there are all kinds of little, like, scripted interactions with zombies in particular. And I find that kind of interesting, albeit obviously canned, which tends to, I think, run a little bit against the usual sandbox nature of this game. Though, hey. Friggin', I hate those things. Overall, though, yes. This segment, you are meant to mildly, like, be dependent upon Alyx, in that she's the one with the infinite ammunition, you're the one with the flashlight. It's an interesting dynamic. Here's another interesting bit. Holes. Yes. And you know what's so interesting about holes? Yep. Got some infinite antlion spawns going on here. And logically, the way we plug them up is by, yeah, putting a car on top of them. That will be the trend. Now you're just being condescending. I hope you enjoy constant crashing sounds anytime there is an antlion burrow. Gonna have to definitely get used to that noise.
Keep that barnacle in your light.
I really kind of love this shot here, where the zombies are silhouetted against the light at the end of the tunnel, so you can see them coming, albeit indistinctly. And you're sort of taught to be far back because of this, you know, string of barnacles. It is kind of amazing what Valve managed to do with their environmental design in this game. What would be a fairly blah sort of set of like underground highways and parking garages is, I think, elevated a little bit by the fact that they lay out enemies in such a clever way. Nope, not the bottle. Yeah. Nice kick there, Alyx. One gripe I do have about the gravity gun is that it tends to prioritize what I feel is the wrong target. Like, it usually grabs the thing that's closest versus what would be the handiest. Like, check out this fun little barricade here, which basically is just, you know, the tunnel collapsed. I think that's pretty good. Now, I wonder what city this is to have such an extensive underground highway. Maybe not a highway, but just a part of the city that did run underground. Uh-oh. Yeah. It's interesting, actually, that despite the zombification process, the Combine's sort of cybernetic enhancements are still prodding them on to keep fighting the enemies of the Combine. Sort of an interesting duality there. As a matter of fact, the Combine zombies, their backwards voice lines are actually them trying to call in alerts. Which is, you know, incredibly creepy. Considering this whole lengthy parking garage segment, might be a good time to splice it in right about here. Yeah, freaky, right? But, you know, I feel like... yeah, the Combine, they kind of don't really deserve a kind fate, but that's me editorializing. Besides which, you know, these guys, most of them were probably converted against their will, so I suppose it's hard to judge them. It's like, I don't know, getting mad at a toaster. Even if the toaster has been converted by evil robot scientists for evil. Anyhow, yeah. Job's done. With a rousing chorus of crash, bang, crunch. And this is sort of the barrier that would have prevented us from just leaving. This kind of long gate. The antlions would have jumped up and tried to disrupt us if we just tried to open the gate and leave. However, I think we're going to be coming up shortly on a, well, not the last set piece, but we're getting close to the end of these set pieces. I do feel like you can only do so many underground segments without it starting to lose its luster, you know? You gotta have sort of a happy balance where, you know, you keep on alternating on the concept while not doing it so often that it starts to get boring.
This water's nasty. Got room for two in there?
Wow. Honestly, that's kind of surprising that they. You know what? Like, games were getting plenty risque back in the early 2000s. That's not actually that weird. Like when you have games like Sin, for instance, that came out. Ooh, I'm gonna say maybe a few years before this game. And the big draw there was that the big old bad guy of that game had large tracts of land. But, you know.
I don't believe it. An actual elevator. I would have settled for stairs. You've got to be kidding. I've worked with electricity a time or two, and I'm pretty sure the sparking wire must be connected to a power supply.
Yep, just follow the wire. Though, all this convenient physics ammunition just lying around, all these flares, these barrels, these propane canisters, I think that you kind of get what's about to happen here. The same thing that happens with any slow elevator. Best be prepared. There we go. Oh, that is a bonanza of shotgun ammunition. You know, sometimes the random supply crates give, and sometimes they don't give a whole lot.
Oh, and here comes trouble.
Yep. Time for fun.
So long. Still light out.
And, well, you know, some time passed between recordings, and I decided, hey, why not go for a double?
Thank God, it's still day. Let's get out of here. Oh, God, no. No, it's locked. I can't believe this. Hey, up there! Hello? Can you let us out of here? Hello? They can't hear us, I guess. Can you see any way to get this open?
This chapter is going to be called Urban Flight, and it's going to be a bit of a longer one than Lowlife was. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to be covering the entirety of it in this update. And if you happen to look at the status bar, you'll notice that we are still 40 minutes away from the end. So...
That's it. See if the crank still works. Come on, Gordon, crank that thing. Great. Okay, let's get to the train yard before the Citadel blows.
In the days ahead. However, for For now, we will
Finally,
have to
fresh.
content ourselves with some
my
relatively
God.
eager exposition.
Striders really tore
The
the hell out of me.
destabilization of the City 17 reactor has had repercussions that were not entirely unexpected, although we hardly dared speak this
I've
hope ahead of
never
time.
been happier to
The
see Dr.
destructive
Kleiner.
pulse forced a damper on the entire network of linked Citadel reactors. Thus,
Yeah, Kleiner's actually going to be taking over the broadcast system for the entirety of this update, so yeah. Every now and then we'll be hearing his dulcet tones in the distance.
They're looking for something. Probably us.
That's all fine and dandy. I was getting tired of fighting zombies anyway.
From the rooftops. Light 'em up! I was hoping we'd get a bit farther before they noticed us again.
No such luck. Funny, you know? The Citadel's busted, but it's still trying to expand itself. Never fear, random citizen.
Knock them over, Gordon.
If you're expecting a repeat of the dynamic squad mechanics, you're not seeing it ever. Well, yeah, it's not going to be nearly as extensive as it was in the original game. And you know what? I am A-okay with that.
Good job sealing the burrows. We're gonna see if we can help it shit out.
Your funeral. Have fun in your sector of the city. I'm going to this way. Hey fellas, what you doing? Well, whatever it is, they did a bad job of it, that's for sure.
I'll cover the street while you figure this out.
Yes, it's time for another one of their patented physics puzzles. But with a twist. Yeah, it looks like another seesaw puzzle, but the trick is that, well, the seesaw is being held up by things that are way too light to support our weight. But see, you gotta think about it laterally. The purpose of a seesaw puzzle isn't necessarily to keep one side down, it's to keep the other side up. So if you just obstruct the other end, well, that accomplishes the goal just fine. Because, of course, you know, in this game, there aren't any mechanics for crushing things that aren't made out of wood. I feel like I don't know how much the hazard suit weighs, but I feel like probably Gordon would crush what amounts to 2 milk boxes and paint cans.
Nicely done. Let's head upstairs. You
really gotta wonder, like, what precisely is going through the Combine's minds at any given time right now? Like, with their command structure destabilized, are they basically just putting up fortifications for the heck of it? Uh-oh. I know what a blue laser means, and I don't like it. But hey, maybe we can use these.
Bring that over here and I'll rejigger it.
And I might have mentioned that this gimmick was going to be somewhat underused.
Gordon, hold up a second. We can't get through here while that sniper's covering the street.
Yeah. You know, they get a little bit of mileage out of it, but in general, being able to convert Combine stuff for your own ends feels like a little bit more, you know? Like, I feel like Alyx's hacking thing would have been kind of cool if you could also use it on, like, a Combine APC or a gunship or something. But no, just them roller mines. But, you know what? These happen to be just the right tool for the job. Just gotta get a little bit closer to get it the right shot. And... Oink. Nice. And there was also a guy manning this turret that these things took care of when I wasn't watching.
Nice toss, Gordon. That sniper almost took my head off. Let me climb up and take a look at what we're walking into.
Yep. It's another climbing segment, albeit mercifully a lot shorter than the one in the previous game. Oh boy, that was... yeah.
Uh-oh. They've got the street fortified up ahead. You run point, okay? I'll cover you from up here till you reach the far end. When the coast is clear, I'll catch up. Okay, looks like I can get that ladder down to you. Let me shoot out the latch. I might be a little rusty with this rifle. Ha! Nope, guess I'm not.
Yeah. So, it's a brief sniping mission, only you're not the one doing the sniping. Instead, you're the bait. Alyx isn't a perfect shot, like sometimes she will miss, but otherwise though, she does a very handy job of keeping things, you know, a little bit more clear and sensible for you. I kind of like that. Like, they make Alyx skilled in a number of ways without necessarily drawing attention to it. Like, she's, like, the term Mary Sue gets thrown around a lot, and she is definitely not that. Like, she is fallible, she's, like, vulnerable, she gets moments where she doesn't necessarily have the right solution, but also she's incredibly capable and is able to help out in a number of scenarios. So, I feel like it's a nice, balanced representation of a partner character. She's not a sidekick, no, like she's practically, no practically about it, she is an equal protagonist in her own right. Oh yeah, real impressive, buddy. You really knocked me out of the park with that one. I am suspicious. Yep. trying to show me something. There's actually a fortified position up ahead that we need to get ourselves into. Now, I'm not entirely sure about the scripting for this. It seems like once you plug up the burrow, the gate will open an infinite number of times until you actually get in there. I can tell you, like, on occasion, I've had the gate open like 2 or 3 times, and the number of guards doesn't apparently go down. But the basic idea is that, like, you're not supposed to wait for the guards to go away. Like, you're supposed to instead take a more aggressive position using fire. And then there's this scripted bit where antlions are going to start pouring in, and Alyx moves from her sniper spot, and you know, honestly, this can be a little bit of a drag, if you ask me. Even for how short it is, like, waiting for the scripting to catch up to you can be, I don't know, not my favorite thing. Like, what are we waiting for here? For all the antlions to go away?
Glad that's over. Oh, God. Looks like the reactor's back on track for a meltdown. That transmission's going out after all. Oh! I'd like to find another way around these buildings, but we really don't have time. Okay, let's get in. Come on.
Considering the fact that the Combine are, like, radioing for help, was it necessarily the right thing to do to stabilize the Citadel so that, well, I mean, like, sending out the packet is what's causing the Citadel to go boom, so, yeah. It's sort of a no-win scenario. Like, basically, they're going to send out their transmission no matter what. That's what it seems like. Huh. That particular canister didn't explode, which is surprising considering everything else does. Hey there, slug people.
Whew. I think we just broke about 50 Combine members. What's that beeping sound? Get away from the doors!
I don't know what I was trying to pick up here, but yeah, this whole thing could have been handled a little bit better, I think. But you know what? They were prepared for the idea that players might be taken by surprise, so here, have a couple of free chargers as well. See, right as rain. Anyhow, our arsenal seems to be rebuilding itself in unusual increments. Which is unexpected, since this is an expansion pack, more or less. So, they expect to start getting familiar with all the weaponry. So, due to the lack of any nearby water guns, yeah, you might be thinking, oh hey, we're going to be getting the bug bait again, but no. Without our green friends, we cannot pull off this Antlion Guard's falls. with that little bit of imagery, let's close this fight out. There are some antlion burrows that we could have blocked off a little earlier in the fight, but with the antlion guard running around, that wouldn't have really been practical. Probably would have knocked it just right off the burrow with all its ramblings. Yep. We're about to get ourselves in a little bit of a fight against some more Combine. So it goes. Yeah, I feel like the soundtrack in this game is more or less like an improvement over the stuff in the first game. Like there were some standout tracks in the first Half-Life 2 game, but I don't know. I kind of feel like they didn't really stand out to me as much as they do in this game. Maybe they had a different concept in mind when they created the music here. Anyhow, yeah, more underground actually. Though, at least in this case, it's immersively short. It's just basically a short climb up with a number of more pointless barricades. Maybe the Combine had a scheme for this, but it's hard to discern just based on, you know, what's shown in front of us. Ooh. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best idea. But the game at least gives us a backup. Theoretically speaking, what you could have done was instead left on top of the explosive barrel and not blown it up to, like... I don't know what I was thinking with that. But oh well. Health comes and health goes. This game, as you've probably noticed, tends to swing up and down in terms of what resources it gives you. And yeah, it's really funny. If you just yank on some of these vents, they just kind of fall to pieces. In a very inorganic way. I kind of love it. And the other thing that I love about this game is just how much it loves just having things blow up. Oops. How did that even happen? Yeah, the streets are completely clear, more or less. Like they're not mining the major thoroughfares. But sure, let's mine these random out-of-the-way tunnels. Oh yeah, this isn't a tunnel. No, sir. Makes me also wonder, how did the Combine get all these fortifications in place?
Uh-oh. Here we go again.
With the zombies still here. Just a game. Just a game. No need to think too hard about it. Though, usually, like, at least they make some sort of a token effort to at least try to provide some explanation for how everything is the way that it is. Whether through, like, little, breadcrumbs laid around the environment and things like that. But that seems to be kind of the way things go for expansions, that it becomes slightly more gamey because they're trying the experimental concepts that they wouldn't have done for the more risky initial commercial release. I figure, you know, if you've got your audience already locked in, then you can do stuff that probably would have raised a few eyebrows if you had tried it when the first game came out.
Wait for me, Dr. Freeman. I'll come with you.
Yeah. It's a little practical use in urban warfare than a rocket launcher. What, did they think that they were going to be bombing mortar sites or something? Two minds with a single thought on that one. But you know what, this is a universe where boxes of infinite rockets just happen to be sitting around here and there, so... Oh, impressive. I managed to hit not a single person with that first rocket.
Hey, over here!
What are you still doing here? Everyone should clear out of the city.
The Combine's not making it easy. We're trying to get enough people together to force our way through to the train station. People are meeting up in a safe house nearby.
Can you take us there?
You bet. Let's go. This way.
Yeah, you gotta wonder exactly, like, if are they maybe just going on autopilot? You know, like, we gotta stop the rebels,
Hey,
even
it's me.
though
Open the door.
everything's falling apart.
What's the password?
I'm not even gonna tell you to shut up.
Come on in.
Previously, certain protein chains important to the process of embryonic development were selectively
You're
prevented
Kleiner's
from
daughter,
forming.
right?
This
no.
is no
My
longer
dad's a
the
Dessa
case.
Covey.
For those so inclined, now would be an excellent time for procreation. Which is to say, in layman's terms,
Is
you should
Dr.
give
Kleiner
serious
really
consideration
telling
to
everyone
doing
to
your part for the revival of the
get busy?
species. We must make the most of the time we have, as it is by no means certain how much time we have secured ourselves before the Combine attempt to restore their dominion, as they certainly shall. Since this is, in fact, the first opportunity we have had to speak openly of the baleful influence of the Combine, there is much ground to cover. And in fact, I hope
What the hell?
in the days ahead.
Let's find another way up.
For now, we will content ourselves with relatively meager exposition. The destabilization of the City 17 reactor has had repercussions that were not entirely unexpected. Although we hardly dared speak this hope ahead of time, the destructive pulse forced a damper on the entire network of linked Citadel
Actually, there's a lot that you can get from Kleiner's broadcast. Sort of a, exposition on what's happening after the stuff that we couldn't actually see ourselves. That moment where, you come back from Nova Prospect and Kleiner's like, hey, a revolution's happening, yo.
Get back.
But, in its Kleiner voice.
In addition to the complete there are many modified post-human allies still remaining on Earth who will be
Honestly, I wish that I had a scientist buddy who could just narrate the ramifications of everything that I did. Be like, the long-term impact of his decision to go to the grocery store is something like that.
technological advances which we will do our best to deploy in advance of the Combine's return.
I met a
We
Dessa Covey
continue
one
to
time.
diligently assemble and train a new generation of scientists and technicians. For what the Combine fear the most is not any tangible human weapon,
So much
but
for
our
going through
will,
science.
our
Dr.
intellect,
Kleiner says we
our
can make
ability
now.
to
You
respond
nuts, but I
selectively
needed
and
his permission.
rationally to every terror they
Idiot
turn
put
against
Kleiner in
us.
charge.
We place our firmest hope in the human
Sometimes I
spirit,
think everybody's
even
a doctor
knowing
like
how
me.
easily it may be shattered. We have all seen friends and family crushed by the Combine. Some
Taking
of
the
our
scenic
neighbors
route, eh?
allowed themselves to be co-opted and purged of their humanity by the military machine.
Oh man, those two will just go on complaining for actually quite a long time.
Still, I cannot overstate how important it is that we retain our humanity. Only this will allow us to hold together.
Gordon! Alyx? I
Barney?
don't believe it. How the hell did you get out of the Citadel?
We're not exactly sure. All I know is the Vortigons had something to do with it. But what about you, Barney?
I'm doing okay, just going crazy trying to...
They found us!
Aw, hell, Gordon! Were you followed again?
We stole some information from the Citadel on our way out. I don't know what it is yet, but it's important enough that they've been hounding us the whole way here.
Well, that puts the pressure on. Look, we gotta get moving. You guys know about the evacuation trains, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've been planning to make a push on the train station. Now it looks like we're gonna have to cut a path through every chicken ship Metro cop who's having second thoughts about defending City 17.
If Gordon and I took a separate route, we could draw the Combine away from you. That'd give you a chance to get the trains filled up before we get there.
Really? Well, if you say so. Now, come here, look over here. Okay, across this bridge, over the rooftops, is a safe path to the station. You two head that way. I'll hit the streets and round up everyone who's been waiting. We'll meet you there.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Hey, Gordon, before you go, I was getting tired of carrying this around. Listen, I don't have many more of these, so try not to lose this one, okay?
All I used to want to do is...
Go on across, Gordon. She's waiting for you. You lucky dog, you.
See you at the station!
Yeah, our crowbar is actually the last weapon that we acquire.
Gunship. Get back!
And if you're wondering, yeah, the crowbar actually counts as a valid weapon for the one free bullet challenge, so it's a little bit of extra firepower in a situation where you don't have any explosives or handy things to throw. And as always, it retains its ability to one-shot these head crab thingies. Oh crap. That was almost really, really bad.
Minor lacerations detected.
That's probably the closest I've come to actually getting killed this whole chapter here. Ooh, spooky ambiance.
Hey, a hospital. Keep an eye out for medical supplies.
Maybe some more of those, like, edible one-use med packs. Does seem to be all the rage these days. And that's kind of how I imagine it, is that basically just take the whole box and just, like, jam it down your throat. Anywho, yep, gonna have to take cover against these windows. Because otherwise we are gonna get Swiss cheesed, but good. Oh yeah, that zombie is very convincing. Oh hey, I missed one. Whoops. No, I didn't. Proving to be a bit bothersome. Which means, naturally, it's time to go up in the attic and take care of it. And in case you didn't get the launch from the streets, here's another one, just for your convenience. This whole fight scene here, the roof is going to be coming apart in segments, like it's all breakable. And you know what? That means that you might as well start clearing it away yourself in order to get a better angle on the gunship. Why wait for it to start breaking stuff when you can just kind of get a head start on it yourself? Besides, you know what? If you haven't played a game with destructible terrain, you kind of know that, yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing where you ought to just run wild and have fun. I don't know if that hit or not, it's hard to tell. But this gunship doesn't have a special amount of health. It's just usual. You connect with 5 shots, then you're good. Actually, with how close it is, it has a lot less chance to shoot your stuff out of the air. Like, normally, you know, the gunships would be kind of a pain in the neck, but this one, you know, like once you actually get a shot on it, it's not too bad. The trick is clearing enough of this space away so you can actually get that shot.
Wow! I mean, that was... Jesus, Gordon, you're a real terror. Think it's dead? Maybe you should whack it with a crowbar just in case.
Yep, it would appear to be dead.
Oh, God, not again.
How many guards was that? And I managed to thread the needle between all of them. Oh well. Now coming up is a very fun segment.
So much for medical supplies. I found a shotgun.
I'm actually going to be quiet for more or less all of it. And go. And with that, I think that's a pretty good place to close out, so I'll see you again next time.